would never want anyone to mention anything about my family, so I'd never do it about anyone else. It's not what we do. We're fighters.
2 minutes later.
Dan Hooker couldn't grapple a fucking rapist off his ma. You know what I mean?
Okay, strong statement.
Just going back and forth on Twitter.
They're on the same level, they can do that, so. Trash cans.
All right. So, strap in, because the rivalry between Paddy, the Paddy Pimblett, and the hangman Dan Hooker has absolutely exploded on social media, turning the entire MMA world upside down, with both fighters trading incredibly sharp and often brutal jabs at each other. This whole fiery exchange kicked off when Paddy dropped a rather controversial joke. And let me tell you, Hooker's incredibly blunt and no-nonsense response did not land well at all, immediately escalating the tension to a boiling point. The back and forth between these two has been so intense, it's even managed to snag the attention of Arman Tsarukyan, adding yet another fascinating and complex layer to what's quickly becoming one of the most talked about dramas in the sport right now. What makes this all even wilder is that in a recent interview, Paddy Pimblett clearly crossed a line while attempting to take a shot at Dan Hooker's grappling skills. What was undoubtedly meant to be typical pre-fight trash talk almost instantly spiraled into a comment that many, and I mean many, felt went way too far, completely shifting the conversation away from the actual fighting and squarely onto the controversial wording itself. That single moment sparked an immediate and furious backlash, setting off a chain reaction of strong emotional responses that injected serious, undeniable tension into what was already an incredibly heated situation between these two.
I think I finish him wherever the fight goes, to be honest. Obviously, I know we can bang, but every fight we get a breakdown made of our opponent, and it actually shocks me how much he gets hit. And I know he takes one to give one, but you can't really just do that at this level. That's why he's lost to people like Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Charles, because you can't just take one to give one. And I'm not going to just be standing there to let him hit me back. You know what I mean? So, be using me range, keeping him on the outside, and I've got a feeling I'm going to knock him out, to be honest. I don't know what it is. I've just got a sneaky suspicion I'm going to knock him out. You know, I've been doing a lot of rounds with Luke Riley for this camp, and Luke's got much better technical striking than Justin Gagey, and I'm having a lot of success sparring with Luke. And obviously, one of my coaches, Ellis, who used to fight himself, he's the exact same build as Justin. He's 5'10" with a 70-inch reach, and I've been doing rounds with him. He's literally, because he doesn't fight anymore, lad, and he's just a coach, he's just done Justin's style for me. He hasn't got his own style. He's been doing Justin for me, and just the bits what we're working, I can see me knocking him out or dropping him and then submitting him. People are going on about his takedown defense, but if I want to take him down, I will take him down, lad. Simple as. People are saying, like, Justin Gage, he's older than that, lad. He's 2 years older than Dan Hooker.
That's true.
Dan Hooker couldn't grapple a rapist off his ma.
Now, as you can imagine, Dan Hooker fired back. And he fired back angrily after getting wind of Paddy Pimblett's comment, making it crystal clear to everyone listening that he absolutely takes it as a serious and deeply personal line being crossed. His immediate response showed absolutely zero humor or any hint of hesitation. This was a deliberate signal that the situation had genuinely turned personal, indicating that any existing tension between them was no longer just playful banter or idle talk happening online. Hooker's exact words were, and I quote, "It's on site, you fat bast ****. However, the fans were quick to call Paddy Pimblett out as a massive hypocrite. Especially because in that very same interview, Paddy had explicitly refused to comment on Ilia Topuria's personal family issues, making it abundantly clear that there are certain lines he absolutely refuses to cross, even smack dab in the middle of a heated rivalry. He took the time to explain that for him, family is completely off limits, emphasizing that while fighters can go back and forth competitively and talk trash about skills, personal matters and family should unequivocally stay out of it. Pimblett actually kept his tone surprisingly respectful in that instance, genuinely saying he hopes things work out for Ilia Topuria and that the situation gets resolved, a stark contrast to his own provocative remarks about Hooker.
Anyone to mention anything about my family, so I'd never do it about anyone else. It's not what we do. We're fighters. We say what we want about each other. Say anything about me, I'll say anything about him. But don't mention families, you know, that's below the belt. And I wish him nothing but the best with it, lad. I hope it all gets resolved. I hope it all gets resolved and he gets to see his child, lad. That's the main thing. But now, I'm fighting for the world title. He's sitting on the sideline, so when I win this belt, I'm the champ. don't care if it says interim on it. When I win this belt, I'm the champ, and if he's not back by June, July, he best have to vacate or get stripped, and I am the champ. That's all. So the fact that I've got Ellis playing Justin Gaethje for me, and then I've got Luke, who's a better, faster, more powerful technical striker than him, I think it all goes into my favour.
You got Luke Riley above Justin. You're rating him above Justin Gaethje in the striking department already in his career, you reckon?
Yeah. Luke Riley's been fighting Thai in Thailand since he was 8 years old, lad. Yeah. You know what I mean? When Justin Gaethje was wrestling, lad, Luke was fighting Thai and then doing amateur boxing, and Luke's striking is a class.
But the drama didn't end there. Dan Hooker then doubled down, responding with even more anger, directly calling out Paddy Pimblett for staying completely quiet when they were actually face-to-face, publicly accusing him of being fake and two-faced behind the scenes. Hooker stated that he genuinely thought they were on good terms, only to feel utterly betrayed by the inflammatory comment going public. Yet, what truly stood out and made many viewers incredibly uncomfortable was Hooker's mention of Ricky in his message. This was widely considered strange and inappropriate, especially given that Ricky was someone deeply close to Paddy and had tragically passed away in 2022, adding a disturbing and highly sensitive layer of tension and controversy to an already volatile situation. Hooker's exact words were, "Ain't said S******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* we were mates, but you're not a very good mate, are you, Paddy? R.I.P. Ricky. In a swift and furious counterattack, Paddy Pimblett immediately fired back at Dan Hooker, forcefully calling out what he perceived as a massive overreaction. He specifically pointed out that Hooker had blown a simple hypothetical joke about grappling wildly out of proportion and then inexcusably went as far as bringing up a friend who had tragically committed suicide. Paddy framed this move as a severe crossing of the line, hitting back hard while simultaneously continuing to throw shade at Hooker's fighting skills, making it abundantly clear that this feud has become intensely personal and deeply heated. Paddy's response was, "Thought we couldn't be mates because I'm ranked above you. You took a hypothetical joke about how bad your grappling is and responded by talking about my mate who committed suicide. Now that's lowest of the low and on sight is fine by me. You're utter dogs fighting." Meanwhile, amidst all this chaos, Arman Tsarukyan seemed to completely shrug off the escalating online back and forth between Paddy Pimblett and Dan Hooker, making it very clear that he doesn't view either man as operating at a higher elite level in the sport. He deliberately downplayed the entire beef, framing it simply as meaningless noise between two fighters he essentially views as equals and ultimately not serious factors in the much bigger championship picture.
There's a little conflict going around with Dan Hooker and Paddy Pimblett. I was wondering if you were able to, see it or what you thought about it.
I didn't see what they're doing.
Just going back and forth on Twitter.
They're on the same level, they can do that, so. Trash cans.
So let's talk about Arman Tsarukyan, who's now turned his attention to Paddy Pimblett's grappling, openly questioning just how dangerous the baddie truly is once the fight hits the ground. Tsarukyan isn't shy about dismissing Paddy's much-touted reputation in that specific area of the game. He pointedly highlights the fact that Pimblett doesn't consistently test himself against elite, top-tier competition when it comes to grappling exchanges, suggesting that this lack of high-level challenges leaves a big question mark over his actual ground prowess. What's more, Tsarukyan implies that even recent moments caught on camera or circulating through gym rumors only serve to reinforce those very doubts, painting a picture that Paddy's ground game might not be as formidable as his supporters claim when faced with a truly skilled grappler.
Say he has no grappling. He trains with guys. He never compete even the high level. He never compete in jiu-jitsu or grappling. I saw him. He had a fight, grappling fight, and he tapped or he lost. So he's a trash can in the grappling and the wrestling.
And not one to back down, Paddy Pimblett quickly returned fire, launching a sharp shot right back at Arman Tsarukyan, specifically mocking Arman's grappling credibility and aggressively questioning just how dominant he really is on the mat. Paddy didn't hold back, actively downplaying any success Arman might have had in grappling competitions outside of the demanding world of MMA, contrasting it sharply with his own dedicated background and singular focus. He made it abundantly clear that for him, his entire career focus remains squarely on fighting inside the octagon, not on engaging in what he calls side competitions or extracurricular grappling events. The tone of this exchange quickly turned hostile as Paddy shrewdly framed Arman's participation in these extracurricular grappling endeavors as an unnecessary risk, a potential injury waiting to happen outside of their sport, and masterfully used it to further fuel an already incredibly heated rivalry between them.
Grappling a lot. I know you don't want to talk about him, but how do you feel about his, his grappling tournament, Steve?
Lad, I heard he nearly got triangled by what's his name?
Shara Magomedov.
Yeah, he nearly got triangled by him, and he can't grapple to save his life either.
It's a tough
He's a
one.
striker, and he nearly got triangled by him. Know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you ever got any interest of taking those sort of exhibition type things? You know, RAF have got this kind of like grappling thing. Is there ever been like a reach out for like a let's do a grappling match for Pimblett, or is that?
I don't know. Before I was in the UFC years ago, when I was coming back from an injury, I done Polaris one time against Stevie Ray. He caught me in a leg lock. That's like the only one I've done in the past 10 years or something like that. I used to do grappling competitions all the time when I was younger and stuff like that, but obviously I'm focused on fighting now. I don't, like, he can go off and do all these other things if he wants, lad, but hopefully he takes his neck doing them.
I'm afraid to speak it out loud. Like, this is our last run. Like, Justin's not, if we don't win this fight, we're not going on. Like, we're not going to go out there and be a gatekeeper and look at money fights and shit like that. It's he's a goal setter, and his mentality, just like he finished up. I don't know if you watched that video. Might as well go watch it if you haven't. We're in his house and the family's having a dinner, and I have that true talk, and I'm talking to his family. I'm not talking to him, and it's the way he ends it. He's like, "It's not over, coach." So that's the key to Justin. Justin is very unique. He would fight over and over and over, but he knows he's got to be there for the family. He's got to be smart and take care of his health. And but we win this belt. My shoot to the moon type of goal would be, let's go out there and repeat defenses. Obviously, this is an interim title fight, so we're not the champ yet, so we'd have to go win.
So, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about Arman Tsarukyan, who interestingly enough had earlier expressed a clear desire to stay ready as the potential backup fighter for the highly anticipated Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje fight. However, he's now come out making it absolutely clear that he's no longer willing to put his body through the brutal, dehydrating process of a weight cut without a truly definitive purpose. He elaborated on his stance, explaining that despite all the persistent talk swirling around him as the seemingly obvious backup option for such a high-profile bout, the UFC themselves never actually reached out to him with an official offer. And without that crucial direct call from the promotion, he sees absolutely no logical reason to drain himself, subjecting his body to such immense stress and hardship purely for the sake of potential money or mere speculation. From Tsarukyan's incredibly pragmatic point of view, going through a weight cut is an exhausting, stressful, and incredibly taxing ordeal. After already enduring that grueling process once before with absolutely nothing tangible coming from it, he is now squarely focused on protecting his energy and his body, emphasizing that he simply won't drain himself again unless a serious, confirmed opportunity is officially put in front of him.
I know you've mentioned wanting to be the backup fighter. Have you had any talks with the UFC about actually officially having that position? Because I think you're really the only guy who could be the backup fighter right now.
No, I didn't talk to them, and I wouldn't cut my weight just for money, because it's a hard. But if they ask me, I'll do that. But they didn't ask, so that's why it's better for me not to cut weight and just if I cut, I want to fight.
For sure, it's I mean, cutting weight is so hard.
I already cut in June, and nothing happened, and just I spent my energy for the training camp, for the weight cut. It's always stress when you cut your.
Is that when you grapple with him, his ground and pound is so unique. So unique. He hits people with punches at different angles on the ground that are so effective, and it's top game. Like, how do you know your top game, and how do you know that? Like, Paddy, I think, is very good when it comes to dragging people to the floor. I don't think Paddy's a great wrestler. I don't think he's going to go out there and take Justin down. Obviously, he could slip on the mats. He can time something really good where the hips are up, but I don't see Paddy.
However, in a classic countermove, Paddy Pimblett wastes no time in placing the blame squarely on Arman himself for the precarious situation he now finds himself in. Pimblett absolutely did not hold back on Tsarukyan, directly calling out his infamous weigh-in antics, those dramatic moments on the scale that often cause controversy, and his frustrating tendency for last-minute pullouts from fights. Pimblett made it crystal clear that in his view, Those specific actions and that consistent behavior have unequivocally disqualified Tsarukyan from any legitimate standing to demand a coveted title shot. He implied that a fighter's reliability and professionalism are just as crucial as their in-cage performance when it comes to earning a championship opportunity. And Tsarukyan, in Paddy's eyes, has fallen short in that regard.
So what about this fucking Arman fella, dude? What are we saying, this posh cunt?
Fuck him. Simple as, lad. I'm getting sick of getting asked about him and people talking about him. Oh, he should be in this interim title fight. He shouldn't fucking headbutt people at weigh-ins then, should he? Not and punch fans in us when he's walking out, lad, and pull out a title fight the night before. So as far as I'm concerned, lad, he can eat shit, lad, and fucking, as Dana said, he can get back to the drawing board.
Nice. Get that one out of the way early on Arman Tsarukyan. He could have been in the mix for this fight, but I just feel like there's a lot of ulterior factors that people aren't considering other than just his recent win over Dan Hooker. I know he's a top contender, but there's a whole lot that he's done wrong before, and this is the big Paramount debut.
And lad, people are saying, like, Justin Gage, he's older than that, lad. He's 2 years older than Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's like 2 years younger than him.
That's true.
Dan Hooker couldn't grapple a fucking rapist off.
Whatever Paddy's saying is like whatever he's dreaming and thinking, you know, all power to him. We're ready for everything, and we did not go into this fight thinking it's going to be just a striking fight at all. Like, Justin has spent so much time. That's probably the proudest thing I am with Justin, is the amount of time that he's put into his grappling, because his wrestling is so high level. But it's more of the offensive and positional type of fighting. You know, for so long, I remember when we got stopped by Oliveira, and I had to have a conversation with everybody on the team, like, hey, Justin is a high level guy, one of the best scramblers out there. We have some of the best slams out there, the Rampage Jackson type of slams. We're offensive. Justin's style is offensive, and to be a champion, you push people back. You have to put people on their heels. I look at this as when we had the Oliveira fight, we were defensive. We were like, don't get in this position. How do you get out of this position? You can't win fights like that. And you have to win.
And speaking of consequences, none other than Dana White, the big boss himself, has officially confirmed that Arman Tsarukyan's controversial headbutting incident with Dan Hooker back at the weigh-ins did indeed significantly affect his career opportunities. White explicitly stated that the incident played a very real and tangible factor in Tsarukyan ultimately missing out on a coveted UFC title shot, powerfully highlighting how a fighter's actions, even those occurring outside the confines of the octagon, can carry incredibly serious real-world consequences for their professional trajectory. This serves as a stark reminder that the UFC holds its athletes accountable for their conduct beyond just fight night, emphasizing the importance of maintaining a professional image at all times.
Obviously, I'm not one of these fans, but some fans thought Arman should have been the one to get a 155 title pound shot.
We knew that would happen too.
Of course. Did the headbutt play any factor in the decision to not go with him? It did, right?
A lot of things have factored in.
155 pounds. I don't see anyone beating Ilia Topuria. I just don't. Not Paddy, not Justin. Yeah, all right, there's Arman Tsarukyan out there, and he's the dark horse. Obviously, Paddy and Justin are fighting for the interim title. That's an interesting fight because Justin, better boxer, better wrestling, never uses the wrestling. Even if he did use the wrestling, you wouldn't really want to take Paddy Pimblett down. Paddy's a lot younger, a lot less miles on the clock, a lot less wear and tear. I'm kind of early leaning towards Paddy Pimblett in that fight. But who's the undisputed champ at the end of 2026? So yeah, 2026, Topuria will still be the champ. Yeah, there's Arman Tsarukyan out there, but I don't think that fight will materialize.
So, let's peel back another layer of the Arman Tsarukyan story. He's finally opened up about the real reason he had to pull out of the highly anticipated UFC 311 fight against the formidable Islam Makhachev, revealing it was due to a debilitating hernia. This is a significant piece of information as it explains a controversial withdrawal. Despite having a legitimate medical reason for missing the bout, Tsarukyan, as you can imagine, unfortunately faced a wave of intense backlash and criticism from fans and media alike. He continues to deal with the lingering consequences of that difficult decision, vividly illustrating how even a single withdrawal, regardless of its underlying justification, can cast a long, impactful shadow and leave a lasting, sometimes career-defining impression on a fighter's professional journey. It just goes to show you the unforgiving nature of the fight game.
He was in LA. You were gonna fight Islam. You messed up your back. What's the recovery been, for, and like what happened? How did you get injured in your back before the fight versus Islam?
So I did the MRI after the fight, and it shows like I don't know how to explain in English, but I have a grisha. No.
Translate. Let's see. Hernia.
So I have that thing.
Okay.
And I may need surgery, I may not. So we'll see if it's gonna bother me again. I gotta do surgery.
Gotta remove the hernia.
Yeah, remove it.
Gotcha. So, was it was pretty painful?
Yeah, my back was stuck. You know, I couldn't move.
Man.
And then in 2-3 weeks, I started like moving, running.
And the drama doesn't stop there for Arman Tsarukyan. He also found himself in a heated clash with a well-known MMA guru or analyst over Ilia Topuria's potential chances against the reigning champion Islam Makhachev. The analyst had suggested that while Topuria might be able to compete effectively at 155 pounds, he simply wouldn't be able to hang at 170. Tsarukyan shot back incredibly sharply, swiftly dismissing the comment with a fiery intensity. He made it abundantly clear that he genuinely doesn't believe the analyst possesses enough in-depth knowledge or understanding about the nuanced complexities of the sport to confidently make such a definitive call, subtly hinting that the expert was out of his depth. This exchange really highlighted Tsarukyan's confidence in his own strategic insights and his willingness to challenge perceived authorities in the MMA world.
Topuria and Islam, Topuria has no chance. What about? You think Topuria can beat Islam?
Yeah.
Bro, you
no, at 170,
MMA,
no.
bro.
At 170, no. At 155,
bro, why
yes.
You like working in an interview, guy. You know shit about MMA.
I do. There's no way Ilia Topuria can't.
What's good, bro?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, 165.
No, it's 170 as well.
Bro, Islam fighting 170. He's not 155 fighter.
Yeah, that's why I said at 170 I don't think so, but it's close. But at 155, I think Ilia can beat Makhachev. Yeah, very good. No.
He has just boxing. That's it.
He has grappling too.
Where?
He submitted Bryce